It feels good. It feels good. Knowing that going into the offseason, you will have options because I didn't have options before. So yeah, man, it feels good to just, I wouldn't say relax because you gotta still work out and work on your game. But I can. It's a little weight off my shoulders for sure.
Audio Jungle.
And good afternoon to you. Happy Friday. The sun feels better today. The water tastes a little more crisp. The glass is half full. How about last night? The monster news. Malik Monk has agreed in principle with the Kings for the 4-year, $78 million extension. This has been the thing we have talked about really since the midway point of last season when the Kings were struggling. Well, what's going to happen if they don't get Monk? And then selfishly, some of us are like, well, like maybe he can tone it down a little bit, not play as well, bring that number down, stay in Sacramento. Totally kidding. We want the best for Malik. But he was wide-eyed. He was looking at free agency. And I've got an interesting take on this. I have a really interesting take because the timing of this, and I said it last night, some of you challenged it, Grant challenged it. The timing shocked me because I thought for sure Malik was going to be testing free agency. But then when we saw some of these things about the Kings re-engaging with the Bulls and then Caruso all of a sudden being traded for Josh Giddey, what? When the Bulls could have gotten a first round lottery pick this year. So, as you put the pieces of this puzzle together, it is starting to make a little bit of sense. It really is. So, how the hell is everybody feeling about this? Are you excited? Pen cannot go to paper until July 6th. But usually, once there's a deal like this in place, it does not fall apart. I know there's been a few exceptions to that rule, i.e., DeAndre Jordan in Dallas, but that is different. Malik Monk will be a Sacramento King for 4 years, getting that $78 million. We are going to talk a ton about that. Adam, no worries, buddy. And thank you, everyone, for the well wishes, the happy birthdays. Yes.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid.
Yeah, I'm not a kid. I'm a man. I'm 40. Really appreciate it, everybody. And Grant, he just had his birthday, which was really cool. Alberto, you wanna get my best if you don't like that. I don't know if I even want to try that, Alberto. I'm not sure. But maybe you'll get it. We'll see how far we get. It's going to be a fun show. It is wide open for all of you. If you want to get in here, take the show over. You can talk whatever you want to talk. What do you think is the next shoe to drop here in Sacramento? Again, I got a timeline that I want to lay out for you, and I've been poking around with some of my sources about this. We know the Kings very, very tight-lipped usually about moves in the offseason, moves in general. Monty McNair and his team are quiet, but the way the Kings do things, I think maybe indirectly the Kings may have put the pressure, believe it or not, on Malik Monk. And I think it's actually a smart move if that's what went down. But then the other part of this too, y'all, is Klay Thompson and how this figures into what Klay Thompson's going to get. I thought that these two, Malik and Klay, would be tied together. What if Malik hit the market and Klay Thompson signs for the MLE? I don't think that would happen. But what if Orlando got Klay with the MLE. What's that do to Monk's market? Significantly less, probably, maybe. Do you take that risk? Grant said it's life-changing money. It is a lot of money to be paying a sixth man, but he is that important to the Kings. If you talk about their A, their B, their C, their D scenarios this offseason, I can promise you scenario A, their top choice, included Malik Monk re-signing. So let's see. It's been reported that we are now the top suitor for LaVine. I've got an interesting take on that as well. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Finchy. I appreciate it. I want LaVine and Kuz. I know Dennis hit me up in my DMs. I didn't get to read all that, buddy, but that's a little bit too much for me. I think that's a little too much because here's the thing. Thank you, Bane, by the way. And Bane gets the extra sound.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm 40.
I'm not a kid.
I'm not a kid, guys. The LaVine thing makes a problem for the Kings, a problem that they have not had since Monty McNair has been here in Sacramento. And that is, it takes away your flexibility. If you bring LaVine in at this point, you have no fluidity. You do not have quote unquote liquid assets. They are tied up basically in CDs that you cannot touch. So that's the thing that you got to look at on the other side of it. Telly, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. V Diddy checking in 4 more years. Monk for president of the bench, 25 minutes per game or more is good once Barnes runs out of gas. Karen, thank you very much. All the way up in Reading. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Super tight. Even bringing in draft picks. Yeah, what are the Kings going to be doing there? What is the plan? I'm going to get to that in a minute. But hey, it is not just my birthday. You know that I share my birthday, and it's kind of funny. Baki shares his birthday with Grant, which is cool. Happy late birthday to both of you. But you know what? I share my birthday with this guy. That is Corn Dog, Con Dog, our man. Happy birthday, buddy. How the hell are you doing?
Woo! I feel great. Although there's a lot of traffic, so I wasn't going to be able to make it to my computer for the show, so I'm on the mobile. I got my phone on the holder, so it's all good.
All right, better be. You know, I get on Alex about that. Safety first in the King's Court, you know. Yep. But it's okay, brother. So, what birthday is this for you?
28.
28. All right, man.
Yeah.
I love it, man. What are the plans this weekend, or what's the plans tonight? What are you doing?
I still work, but me and my buddies from work, because I'm gonna be working in the smaller department, the guard shack. So they're all chipped in, and we're gonna get like a boatload of Chinese food, and we're gonna have a good day tomorrow.
Nice, very good. You can't beat the Chinese smorgasbord, but you got to get a good Chinese restaurant. Like,
oh yeah, I got one. I got a place in Stockton next to a laundromat, so it's authentic.
Dude, I was in LA for a Jim Rome event. Was this time last year, actually. It was just right around this time. And we were like, where should we get dinner? Where should we get dinner? And one of our friends that lived down there, he's like, you got to go to this Chinese place. And so, you know, we're thinking, because he's in a different bracket than the rest of us in terms of income. So we're like, we better change. It's going to be nice. No, they didn't have a seat in the restaurant. You just walked up to a counter. You ordered your stuff. They've got a kitchen in the back. They do deliveries, whatever. It was so amazing. So hole in the wall
place is too, man. That's how this place is too. There is no sit down. I love it.
Very good.
Yeah,
you're getting some birthday wishes.
Got this new Team USA shirt on.
There you go.
There you go. This year, ready for the Olympics.
There you go. You got to treat yourself on your birthday. Corn?
Yep, I'm ready.
Well, I know we talked a little bit about Malik Monk last night. Has it set in? Is the euphoria still over you, buddy? Did we lose the corn man? The corn man going once, going twice. We're gonna throw corn back in the chat. Let's see if we can get that connection cleaned up a little bit. Sea Dog, I think that's a
Lose
little
me.
bit of hot smoke, personally. I know that's still out there. I just don't know that the Kings are gonna go that way. And I looked at and I kind of led the show with this, and I've been poking around a little bit. And it is possible here that the Kings actually put the onus and the pressure on Malik Monk to make this decision earlier rather than later. Think about them reaching back out to the Bulls. You bring in Zach LaVine, you bring in Alex Caruso. I know the money kind of made sense for that season, but it didn't after that. So, what does that mean for Malik Monk? Did the Kings possibly say, hey, look, we want you. You know what we can give you. But if that's not going to be in the ballpark for you, or you think you can go and get more, then we've got to move on and go this other direction. And so when you saw the domino fall with Alex Caruso going to Oklahoma City, that to me immediately said, all right, these talks have cooled. The Kings know something. And then you look at the timing of Malik Monk's Instagram post talking about, Mama, we made it. We're taking off. And I know there was a rocket next to it. We had people calling in saying, oh, no, he's going to the Rockets. How are they going to swing the money? Yada, yada, yada. No. So I wonder when this was made. And I wonder if it was the fit for Malik that really meant the most. I wonder, obviously, the money, that's the end all be all. But I wonder if he balanced the situation, because you think about the situation here in Sacramento, and take this with a grain of salt as I say it. The pressure is not on or as high on Malik Monk, even signing a contract like this, than it would be if he went somewhere else and he was getting paid $2, $3, $4, $5 million more. And I go back to the other thing that I said at the top. What about Klay Thompson? What if Klay Thompson got a 2-year deal worth, I don't know, $16 million? We'll be generous. We'll go a little bit over the MLE. Are teams going to pay that much more for Malik Monk? And I know it's what the Kings are paying him, are still right around there. It's like, do you take your chances? I mean, Malik's agent is an excellent agent. And you know that they had an idea of what the market was going to be, but I can't tell you how huge this is for the Kings. You all know how big this is for the Kings. And yes, the Kings still have holes to fill, but I don't think you are anywhere near behind the 8 ball like you would have been had Malik Monk gone the other way. Looks like Corn's connection cleaned up. You a little bit better there now? You got me, Corn Dog? Oh, we lost him again. Not on your birthday. All right, everybody, we got to pitch in. We got to get Corn Dog a new cell phone. Dennis, I don't want LaVine unless we get Kuz. They're both locked in for 3 years. Get some draft picks, swaps from the Bulls as compensation, and let Monty cook. It's not enough compensation for the switches, man. Again, that is so much money for LaVine over the this year. Fine, you could swing it, but the next couple of years after that, you are more or less pushing somebody out, whether that's Keegan Murray or whether that is De'Aaron Fox. Because again, I don't see the owner going into the luxury tax. Zakara, what up? How the hell are we gonna sign Harris on top of the LaVine trade? Which Harris are you talking about, brother? Harris, Tobias? Are you talking about Tobias Harris? Get out of here. There ain't no Tobias Harris. Let's see. Flores, I still predict Kings get Zach Edey. There you go. Plus a bench player. But you're saying Zach LaVine, excuse me. by trading for Barnes and Herter in the 13th pick. At this point, that 13th pick to me is completely off limits, and here's why. Well, I'm going to take that back. It is not off limits unless it is involved in a Kuz trade. If that's involved in a Levine trade, I hate it. I absolutely hate it, because part of what comes with that pick is a set salary scale of what that guy will be making for the first 4 years of his career. And you look at the Kings' makeup right now, they don't have very many of those guys left. In fact, most of them, with the exception of Colby, are getting ready to expire. Davion, Keegan's got an extra year beyond that. And those are the things, when I talk about balance, especially with the payroll, that is the balance that you've got to find. And I would say having Malik Monk back gives you a little bit more liberty. It gives you a little bit of extra time to develop a talent. And what I mean by developing a talent is this. This is a draft that everybody is saying is one of the weakest drafts since 2013. Okay, let me remind you, there were some really good players that came out of that draft. This is a weak draft at the top. If you are Atlanta, if you are any of the teams in those top 3, 4, 5 picks, you are a little bit bummed out because it is a down year. But on top of that, conversely, there are some very good guys in this draft that could be role players, great role players. Some might end up being all-stars. There's almost always never a draft that doesn't have an all-star or two that comes out of it. So a lot of what I've heard when I've talked to other people following teams, when I've talked to people affiliated with teams, we all know the typical draft strategy. Jerry Reynolds has said it to us. Grant always says it. You take the best available player. Well, in this draft, that is not necessarily going to be the case. And that's been the consensus at the top of the draft. That will be the case. But a great example is a Donovan Clingan, right? He really, to me, a top 2 or 3 guy in this draft. If he does not go 1 or maybe 2, probably not even 2, he could fall all the way down to 7. So I know San Antonio really likes Castle, Stephon Castle from UConn. Both of those guys, UConn guys. So now you have an opportunity for teams to make a pick more geared at what they need at targeting a hole, because you're not taking as big of a risk. And granted, there have been some very good guys that have been picked at 13. No names mentioned. Kobe Bean Bryant, Devin Booker, the aforementioned Zach LaVine that we have hit on. We bring Zach into the conversation. Welcome to the King's Court, Zach.
Hey, so if we bring in LaVine, obviously Barnes and Herter would be traded for him. And so, but then if you do that, you're only guaranteed small forward on the roster would just be Keegan. And we don't know about Sasha. It doesn't look like Sasha's going to be there this season.
Right.
So that doesn't give you much to work with at that position.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
Unless you somehow make another trade or sign like a cheap free agent at that position. But I mean, the thing is, the LaVine, Fox, and Murray, I think all their contracts actually align perfectly. Right?
I got to look.
Because I know LaVine he has 3 years, but that third year's an option. And then Murray's obviously still on his rookie contract for 2 years. So, like, if they just decide to trade him for LaVine, his contract without that player option is going to align with Murray. So then that could give him some, like, flexibility of, like, what do they want to do?
Here's the thing. Zach LaVine, there is no way in hell he's going to opt out of that. That is his option, not the team's option. It's for $9 million. So he's going to be taking that every day of the week. So you would have him through 26, 27. Fox, you only have, I believe, through 25, 26. In fact, I know that you only have Fox through 25, 26. And then after this year with Keegan, that's when you get into the options in the offer sheet. So It's not necessarily a good thing that contracts align because that's a lot of money you've got to be given out at once, and you like to have that staggered.
So with with that player option, can't the Kings reject that, or they
No, not Zach LaVine's. It's a player option, just like you have like LeBron James, perfect example right now. LeBron has, I believe, it's a couple days after the draft to either opt in to what's on his contract for this coming season, or he can opt out and be a free agent. So somebody like LeBron, who probably can get paid a little bit more than he's due to get paid, but wants some other concessions in his contract, like a no trade clause, etc., he'll opt out because he knows he's probably going to get more money. A guy like Zach LaVine, or you just saw this in Chicago with Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball's barely touched the court the past couple of seasons. He had a player option for over 20 million. He picked it up because if he didn't pick up the option, then who's going to pay him that much money right now? Nobody. And the way Zach LaVine's career has been up until this point, if you go off of that trajectory with him not being on the court, he's not going to walk away from $49 million.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just thought in the NBA, the teams had that option to reject the players.
Well, it depends on each contract. So every contract is different. Some contracts have a team option. Some contracts have a player option. Mike Brown's contract actually had a dual option, which was really interesting. So every single one is different. The only thing that is set in stone is the rookie contracts. With the rookie contracts, let me pull it up right now with Keegan's just so I can give you an example. Qualifying offer. Let's see, my man Keegan, where are you at? There you go. So the team has the option for Keegan next year. So the team's going to pick that up. It's only 11.1. The year after that, it's a qualifying offer. What it means is they are a restricted free agent. So Keegan has $14,699,000 on the books for the 26-27 year. The team can, if they opt into it, another team can come.
$14 million on a rookie scale contract?
Yes, 14,699.
Jeez. Anyways, so basically, if they trade for LaVine, they're basically would have to trade either Fox or Keegan. Just assuming Keegan's going to want at least 30 mil, if that's what they feel he's worth, or he's worth. But obviously, we don't know what the cap will look like then, and so.
Yeah, the cap's not going to go up that much. You can go into the luxury tax to overpay your free agents if you want to pay them more to keep them. But this owner doesn't seem to be an owner that is big into doing that. And the Sacramento franchises in general have never been big into going the luxury tax. That's usually your big market teams that can recoup it. And even then, those teams, those owners hate paying that. It is a steep price to pay. With new CBA, you will begin losing mid-level exceptions. You'll begin losing draft picks depending on which apron of the salary or the luxury tax that you're in.
Wait, can you explain how that whole concept of luxury tax, what exactly does that mean?
So I'm not one of those guys. Basically, what it is you are paying over the cap. There's a concession made in the CBA that allows you to pay your guys. So let's say De'Aaron Fox, when he's a free agent, if you can offer De'Aaron Fox more money than anybody else, yet that takes you over the salary cap, you are now in the luxury tax. Once you go over a certain amount over the salary cap, you are taxed significantly on every dollar over it. So that is why it's called the luxury tax, because you have the luxury of paying your own free agents more if you choose to do that.
So that basically you're saying that money comes directly out of Ron and Dive's pocket.
Exactly. Spot on.
Damn. All right. Well, hey, thanks for having me up.
Yeah, of course, Zach. Make it a great Friday, my man. Corn Dog, we'll try to get you back up in a second. I want to get to the chat really quick. Richard, there's too much out there about Kuz and now Levine. Again, to me, Kuz, no brainer. No brainer at all. Levine, I don't get it. I don't see it. I'm for that, Flores. I believe. See, you guys, Dennis, man, my salesman, you really, really, really would like to have Levine. We needed that leverage from Monk. Yep, we certainly did. Our Bizzle, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Sea Dog, Drew Eubanks would be a nice backup 5. He would not be a bad choice. Good one by you. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it very much. Mike Gundy, pick me up.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. I'm not a kid.
Jay, what's up, dude? Hope San Antonio takes Castle. That'll be a good fit. He seems like a great Popovich guy. I think he would play well with Wemby. Both of those guys coming out of UConn, I like them a lot. I think they're going to be around. And then Dalton Connect, man, that guy is going to be pretty damn good. He is a scorer. He's not going to be flashy Steph Curry, unbelievable like that, but he can go on some benders. So expect him to have a pretty damn good career. Some of the scouts are projecting him to possibly have the best pro career out of anybody in the draft this year, which is very interesting. Why are we talking about Bulls garbage players? Well, because the Kings need to get significantly better, but I just don't see. I go back to this. Monty McNair has pillars and boundaries of the way that he runs a front office. And one of them is discipline and the other is flexibility. You've got to have flexibility. And I know he didn't use the flexibility the past 2 trade deadlines, but the Kings, if they had a suitor, if there was a player they liked, they could have done that. They would have been able to swing that. So if you go get Levine, that flexibility is just not there. Kuzma, it is there. And here's why. Kuzma's contract actually goes down throughout the rest of it. So he's got a couple years. It drops. I believe the lowest is right around 18, 19 million. But Kuzma, that's a damn good price for him. So I think I would consider Kuzma more of a liquid asset, a movable asset if you needed to, much more than Levine, whose numbers are sky high. I mean, absolutely sky high. I can read it to you again. Zach LaVine next season is due $43 million. The season after that, 25-26, 45.9, basically 46 million. And then 26-27, he is due 48.9, and that is a player option. So you can almost guarantee that Zach will be picking that option up. Indeed. Yeah, right, MC? I gotta think you are feeling pretty happy right now. Baby Cakes, I think he will be available at 13. I do. The question is, do the Kings go that way? We'll see. I know. Here's what I'll save it for the draft show, because there's one guy the Kings really, really like. He's 6'2", 6'3". He's got a 7-foot wingspan. He can really defend. I'm not sure that he's going to be there. Now, there's another guy similar, not as big of a wingspan, similar in size, though, 6'2", 6'3". He's got a 6'8", 6'9" wingspan. He's a Baylor guy, and I really worry about his ability. He can shoot the 3 great, but his playmaking ability scares the hell out of me. And we know the problem the Kings had last year with having a ton of finishers and not enough creators. You could explain it, then come on and explain it, my man Jay. They have specialists for that. Monty McNair has people that analyze the CBA, analyze the cap for them. They don't even know it to a T. You got a whole team of people, attorneys and such, because there's so many little nuances that go into it. What goes against the cap? What doesn't go against the cap? Great example of this is Colby Jones. Last year, as he got picked in the second round, even though the Kings were looking at him in the first round, he fell because he was a second round pick, his salary did not count against the cap. And that was something the Kings front office game planned for. Corn Dog, are you back?
I'm back.
He is defrosted.
Let's go.
All right. Let's
Yep.
go, birthday
Yeah.
boy.
Hey, so I was just thinking, wait, are we both You're the Rat for Chinese Zodiac too?
I have no idea. I don't check that stuff.
Yeah, because it's every 12 years for Chinese, and you're 40 and I'm 28.
Well, then we must. Are you calling me a rat?
Well, I'm a rat too, brother.
Did you see the article? I know I talked about it here briefly. I guess girls are starting to like guys who look like rats now. It's really becoming a thing.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's a good-looking rat. There's dudes getting plastic surgery to look more like rats. What?
Yeah, I remember I said the Master Splinter thing in the chat.
Yes, Master Splinter. You could go on for days. There is a lot of people that look like rats, and I'm gonna leave that to Romy. That's Romy's family. I'm gonna let him handle that. I'm not gonna jump all over it. So,
oh man,
anyways, my man. So, let's see. You've got a couple more years until you hit the 30s. Any highlights from year 27 to 28 for you?
Highlights? Becoming the main man on the King's Court. How about that for a highlight?
There you go. Love it.
There's a highlight right there.
No doubt, dude. Ground level. Like when this gets bigger, as it keeps growing every single day. So as we get bigger, we definitely will not forget the people that have been here since day one.
Oh man, I love how much this Kings community has grown and come together, man. You start meeting and you start listening to more and more Kings fans. There's Jay, there's Haunted Horse, there's me. I listen to you. I listen to Grant. There's so many more out there. You got the NBA Guru.
The Guru, yep. We've got a lot of different ones. Haunted Horse. Now that one worries me. You know that guy's gonna pop up any second. We are just due for a Haunted Horse.
Maybe I go head up. Maybe I go head up to the 916 against some gym boys, and that'll bring Haunted Horse on.
Yeah, I think he said it. He's gonna be here in sometime this summer. He's heading up this way, so we'll have to let everybody know when the Haunted Horse rides into Sacramento.
All right. So I'm about to pick up my food right now, so I'm gonna let you guys go.
All right, buddy. Hey, you know what? Make sure you get yourself a nice dessert too. Yeah, for your birthday.
Oh yeah.
All right, good man.
Later.
Don't get a good fortune. That is the birthday.
Thanks for the birthday wish.
You're welcome, buddy. Happy birthday. Enjoy your Chinese food.
Ryo.
You guys think Corn Dog's a hot mustard guy? I can't get behind the hot mustard. I can do the sambal. I really like the chili oil, the sambal, a little bit of vinegar, but the hot mustard, that's a no-go. It's so different, so weird. Anyways, getting back to the most important story of the day, Malik Monk plans to re-sign with the Kings 4 years, $78 million. I'm seeing a lot of stuff in the chat about Malik starting. No, this came up last night. Oh, you know what, Flores? I couldn't agree with you more. Flores, spot freaking on. Amen. Now, here's my thing, though, with Dutch Brothers. Dutch Brothers, they use a little too much of the heavy cream. Like, they use that, like, as the milk. If you could just go straight milk, like maybe some 2%, instead of heavy cream, I would prefer that. But Dutch Brothers all day. In fact, I was just there a couple of weekends ago. And by the way, did you know Dutch Brothers is now a publicly traded company? I did not realize that. Good for them. But I was there a couple weeks ago. They had a churro freeze. So I ended up getting that for my wife. She seemed to really enjoy it. But Dutch is freaking so good. Always worth the wait. In fact, you know what? Haunted Horse dragged me into a different conversation about an entirely different kind of drive-through coffee shops that they have in Oregon. And I was freaking appalled, like appalled at what he was telling me, to the point that I didn't believe it. But it is actually true. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but they're people that work at some of their coffee kiosks. How do I say this? They they prefer light clothing, if that makes sense. Really weird idea. Yeah, I'm not with you. I'm not with you on that. King for life. Yes, he is. Well, not for life. We'll see. But think about it, though. Malik comes into this perfect role. He knows what it is. It takes starting off the table. Really, it matters if he's on the court at the end of the game, which Malik most likely will be. Now, can Malik continue to play a physical brand along with the rest of the Kings, that brand that they were playing towards the end of the season? I want to know, and that's kind of the questions I've been asking. Has the strength and conditioning program this summer changed any from the last 2 years? Because that's going to give me a better idea of exactly what they're thinking. Are they going to stick to more that physical defensive brand, make you feel, or make the other team feel you, first team to 100? I think they will, but it'll be nuanced. And I think Malik can totally play that. Remember his injury last year, it wasn't Luka falling on him. It was the step that he took. It was his plant step. And that's why he didn't get up very high. And then Luka came down on his leg, but it was actually the plant. So to me, that's kind of more of those freak injuries as opposed to a contact injury. So as I said, you guys can call this show today. We are celebrating Corn Dog's birthday. Yes, I am 40 today as
Come
well.
after me.
Come after me.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm a man.
I'm not a kid.
I'm not a kid. By the way, best sports rants ever. You got to think that's one of them. Mike Gundy. That one holds up. There's another one that holds up too. Dan Hawkins. Do you guys remember the Dan Hawkins rant? I'll get back to that in a second. Bring in Alex. What's up, man? You must be happy today.
No, definitely. First and foremost, happy birthday to you and to Corn Dog. Hope you guys have a great one. Do you have any plans? You said you're going out of town, right?
Yes. After the show, we are headed to our place in Tahoe. Well, it's in Strawberry. It's like 25 minutes from Tahoe. And we're going to spend the weekend up there. And then tomorrow we are going to Hell's Kitchen. I am so excited for that.
Is Gordon Ramsay going to be there or no?
Probably not. My guess would be probably not. But still, it's his restaurant, same standards, same food. It's for me, it's not so much it's like, oh, I want to go to the place that I see on TV. I've always wanted to dine at one of Gordon's restaurants. My wife has gotten to do it. I haven't. So this is when we finally get to do it.
I only asked because my cousin's best friend went and he was there. So I'm assuming he does like appearances. Yeah, I think he does appearances, or maybe he has like a schedule, or maybe he pops in whenever he wants. I'm not sure. But I knew he wasn't there all the time. Obviously, he's a busy guy. So anyway, hopefully he's there. If he's not, hope you have a great one.
Dude, you know what would make my weekend is if Gordon Ramsay called me a donkey. That would make me so happy. I mean, his little things that he shoots at people and by the way, have you seen the difference between Hell's Kitchen in America versus Hell's Kitchen or similar shows that he runs over in the UK? They're like completely different.
Okay, no, I haven't checked out the stuff in the UK.
So the USA stuff, it's the drama, right? It's him getting mad. That's what sells. Over there, they want the food knowledge. So he's like really gentle with the contestants over there, and then here it's like, you donkey, or he's throwing stuff, you know. But no, I mean, you know what? It'll be cool to be there, and then we're gonna play a few slots too. I don't know why, but I want to play a few slots.
Hey, we'll hope you can win and get some Malik Monk money. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that would be nice. I'll share it with people here in the King's Court. I'd be happy to shell out a few ducats for everybody.
There you go. Hey, but yeah. So about the Malik Monk stuff, I didn't think about it until you said it a little bit ago. I've been hearing in and out in between sets. I just finished right now. So maybe they did apply pressure to Monk because, of course, we've been tied to Levine for a long time. But yesterday it came out before Caruso got traded. We might look for a double package, right, of Caruso and Levine. And then shortly after, it stops, and then Caruso's traded. So maybe in that time, Monk calls or Monk's agent calls and says, hey, you know what? F it, I'm coming back. Maybe, you know, you just never know because, of course, I'm sure he had suitors, but there's always that scarcity or the worry of uncertainty. And I think he would have had suitors for sure. But what if he, in his mind, he was thinking, or his agent, well, the Magic might sign Clay, the Kings might grab Levine, the 76ers might get Paul George. What about me? Am I going to get less than what the Kings were going to offer? So again, I'm not saying that's what happened, but you never know. Uncertainty is scary. And maybe that came in. And once the Levine Caruso package happened, they called, they said, squash it, get out of that mess. So then they made it, you know, official. I'm not official yet, but the story came out. But again, now the Levine stuff is still in fruition. So we'll see what happens with that, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. I mean, here's what we can say for sure. I mean, there's no way you're making the Caruso and Levine move if you're bringing Malik back too. It's just not going to work out. So there very likely was some type of conversation that was like, hey, we're prepared to move on. You know what we can give you. You know, we can't wait around. So whether that applied any pressure to him and his agent, who knows? The story will eventually come out. But what you laid out and what I laid out at the beginning, yeah, you saw it fall off in real time. When what I said yesterday right here was when the Caruso trade happened, I'm like, this does not make sense. Something changed, you know? And certainly something had changed. It's very possible the Kings used the Bulls as leverage to get this guarantee from Monk earlier rather than later.
Hey, you know what though, dude? I get that, but we've been used so many times, so it's good. If we actually did it for once, I wouldn't be mad at it, I guess. The Kings have been used for leverage for years, for eons, I guess. So it is what it is. And I guess my question to you is, since we're still, you know, that report came out that we're likely to still be the suitor for Levine, what does a trade for him even look like now? Just salary swaps? Or, I mean, I guess I'm kind of confused with why you're still going that route, if that's true.
Well, yeah, it's a great question. It would probably entail exactly what you said. It would be Herter and Barnes. And then if the Kings wanted additional, I know Dennis is big on the leverage thing. If they felt like additional compensation was needed, whether that has to do with draft picks, maybe getting the Bulls second, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I don't. Like, if Levine had 1 year left on his deal, maybe it makes sense then. But I can't see the Kings unless the Kings have a plan to where they're ready to move on from Fox, to where they're considering moving on from Murray. If that's the case, then I could see them trying to do that, trying to make a bold move, shake this team up now that you got Monk signed. But outside of that, I don't see how it works. It makes no sense. You already have a logjam now at that position.
Yeah, no, definitely. You know, and to that point too, I guess the whole time I've been thinking, you know, Levine is a good player when he's healthy. But of course, we're glad to get Monk back. Of course, and he even came on a team-friendly deal. But man, I think the only leverage they had was that package of Caruso. You know what I mean? How that was the only enticing aspect. So with that being out, I feel like the only thing they can offer is draft capital, I guess. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't see us doing it besides the salary dumps or salary swaps without at least a first round pick. I don't know if they're willing to do that, but I've heard chatter about Torrey Craig being involved, but I think the only thing that makes sense is draft capital. But even then, for a long time, Zach LaVine was my favorite player, so I have a little bit of excitement with that. But that contract is crazy. I would, even though I'm a big LaVine fan, I'd much rather try to grab a Jonathan Isaac, Andre Drummond, of course, a Kuzma, somebody in that long frame aspect that would make our team just solidified for the most part. Not set, but somewhat solidified.
Yeah, you need somebody that's going to be playing, as Zach said earlier, that 3-4. You need more guys. You've got Trey Lyles right now, and you've got Harrison, obviously, but we're talking about him being included in a trade. And then outside of that, you don't got anything. Hey, Sasha, is he going to be gone? Probably, because I don't see him making it known that he wants more playing time, necessarily getting him more playing time. Really quick, our Bizzle, my man, thank you so much for the super chat. That is super cool of you. Very much appreciated, our Bizzle. That is awesome. That will definitely go towards Hell's Kitchen. Scallops are on our Bizzle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Make sure to tell my wife as well. Thank you very much, my friend. So yeah, I just don't see it. Alex, I don't see it. I don't know how they even consider LaVine at this point. Is it a smoke signal? Is there a different move coming? You've got to bolster that 3-4 position. Kuzma makes all the sense in the world, but outside of that, even if you get another draft pick, that's two guys that you've got to develop, because again, anybody you draft, even Zach Edey, even if they get, I know the Kings are very, very high on a couple of guys. That's been made very clear to me. And if those guys are available, they will help, but they're still not going to be ready to make this team better. You might still get, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes out of each of them at best. So I don't know. I think what we do know, Alex, is the Kings are set up right now in that prime position of where they wanted to be in the offseason. Monk's locked up. Future's in your hands. It's just now their backs are against the corner still.
No, definitely. Now, you say they're high on a couple of guys. Is Edey one of those guys, or you can't say?
There's a lot of intrigue behind Edey.
Okay.
And then one other guy, and this is not a direct quote, but Devon Carter is actually pretty. There's some interest with him. He is one of those prototypical guys that is a 3-and-D. He's a little bit undersized, but he's got a 7-foot wingspan, which is rare for somebody that's 6'2", 6'3", and he can really get after it. He is a dog on both sides of the ball.
Well, I appreciate that inside information. I was only saying Edey because Fox mentioned him in his last interview. So I'm like, oh, maybe there's something there. And I think Fox himself does want the team to get bigger because he's taken a lot of hits, over the years and stuff like that. And we are a small team. The last thing I want to put out is I'm kind of surprised, and I'm sure I'm in the minority of this because I haven't heard a whole lot of chatter about it, but I've heard a lot of LaVine talk. Of course, we've all heard that. I'm surprised if we're talking about a giant contract like that, why we're not mentioning Jeremy Grant. And I'm a huge Jeremy Grant fan. I think, to me anyway, I think he's better offensively than Siakam and then OG Anunoby. I think he'd be tremendous with us. Yes, I understand he's on a big contract, but if we're talking about LaVine, why not talk about Jeremy Grant? You know what I mean? Of course, Kuzma would be on a better deal, but Grant's a slasher, great mid-game. I think he'd be great for our team.
Because I don't disagree with you. He has to be available. I don't think he's available.
Maybe not. I'm just surprised if he wouldn't be, because the Blazers don't seem like they're on the come up. I know they have Shaedon Sharpe, who's 19 or 20 or whatever he is. And then they have Chris Murray. He didn't get a whole lot of run last year. And Jeremy's in his 30s, right? He's got to be 32, 33.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Portland's got 2 picks in the top 14. They're picking 7 and 14. I think Cody Williams could be circled there for them. And Cody Williams is a hell of a player out of Colorado. Jalen Williams' brother with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He needs to put a little bit of meat on his body. But other than that, he's going to be a good guy that could contribute almost immediately.
Even more so, since you're saying you have two, I didn't know they had 2 picks. I would entice them as the Sacramento. Hey, how about 3 first-round picks? Here's another one for pick 13. You'll have 3 in the top, whatever, and try to convince them go full throttle, go young, and give us Jeremy Grant. But I wouldn't bring it up if we weren't going for Levine so hard. I guess because he has a giant contract as well. We're talking about the Kuzmas of the world. I don't think Jeremy Grant would be bad if, like you said, if he was available for sure.
Yeah, I guess here's the thing. So we keep talking about this Levine thing and the Kings maybe being the suitor still or the only suitor. It's like, if that was the case, wouldn't the Kings have already pulled the trigger with Caruso in the deal? That's what doesn't make all the sense to me. You would have gotten Caruso too. You're going to take Caruso over a draft pick every day of the week.
So what I think to that, to respond to you, is I think that wasn't the A plan. I think A plan was bringing Monk back. So they said, we'll do it. Let's just find out what Monk's going to do. And once Monk said, hey, you know what? F it, I'm coming back. We're like, all right, never mind. Now you're plan F. You're not plan B anymore. Or you're plan, E. You're not plan B anymore. So that's what I think. Again, we're all speculating. It's very fun to talk about. I also did a reaction on my channel, a couple-minute reaction. So if you guys want to check that out, I'm not nearly as consistent as Ryan and and Grant. I do about 1 video a week, but I'm pretty busy and good. I don't do this. I guess you could say as serious. I know you probably put in 40+ hours in this, right? I feel like you're always online.
Well, the preparation, and then the different shows, they're more than 40 hours a week for sure. And then I'm talking to sources, grinding,
So this is a full-time job for you. It is. It has to be.
It's actually not a job. It's my love. I love doing this. I left my full-time job to do this. I was lucky enough to be in a position to get that opportunity and then get a platform with Grant. And I'm forever grateful for that. I'm glad I was ready to kind of grab that opportunity and take it by the horns.
No, and that's fantastic. And I guess I said job just to get coalescence with everybody else, since most people, go to their 9-to-5s or whatever. But so that's awesome. That's fantastic that you're doing that. I try to backlog as much as possible. I have my own job and I have side things that I do, and then I try to train 2-3 hours a day. So if I can log in some stuff, I know you made a crazy face right now, but I'm addicted. I'm addicted to the grind.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. So athlete in high school, and then carried the trainer all throughout college, and now you just train myself mainly. Sometimes my nephews, but it's a big passion. And I feel like it keeps you young. You know what I mean? I have friends. I'm in my early 30s, and I have friends that are already falling apart. So I don't want to be that guy. I want to be playing ball and running routes with my 20-year-old nephews and still not, get sore the next day, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey, Alex, appreciate the call, brother.
Yeah, you have a great birthday, man. Take it easy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much to all of you. Our Bizzle, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Again, that means a lot. Very, very cool. Really quick, if you don't got any plans this weekend, make sure, if you're a brunch person like me, you get out to Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland. If you don't want to go all the way out to Rockland, you can hit up the Roseville location or the Howe and Fair Oaks. They've got their brunch specials. If you want to do the 2 entrees, bottle of champagne, only $44. You can go that way. Want to wait till dinner? Go check out the redfish. The short rib is amazing. Also, fresh seasonal soups by the day. Grant and I can hardly ever pass up the mushroom soup. But go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. You can check out all the menus, the other specials, their happy hour specials during the week. Make reservations, get gift cards, so much more. And a happy belated birthday to the patriarch, Brian Bennett of Bennett's West Side Grill, huge supporter of the Kings and this channel. That is Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland. All right, we are going to kick it to Jay. We've got about 15-20 minutes left in the show. Jay, what's up, my man?
What's going on? Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Hope you have a
Appreciate
great
it.
weekend.
Thank you.
So, where do you want to start?
You called me. Where do you want to start?
Well, first thing for me would be addressing the number one suitors for Zach LaVine.
Okay.
It makes me kind of cringe a little bit. Not the people, but just that idea. Um, it doesn't make any sense. Really, it makes zero sense. We re-signed Malik Monk, fortunately, so adding another scoring type of player at that position at the 2 guard just it doesn't make any sense, especially at that price point. Also, going into our depth, which is hardly any, and trading it for a player like him, which would be Barnes and her, just leaves more holes and a hole in Vivek's pockets as well. So
Yep. I'm with you, man. Again, a lot of information going different directions. It's a move that makes no sense financially. And also the way Levine plays. He's a ball stopper. You and I have talked about this. Dirk and I have talked about it. The Kings ran into a lot of issues last season when they went ISO too much. And that's what you're going to get a lot of with Zach LaVine.
yeah, I mean, defensively, I'm sure we can improve on that for if we were to trade for him. But I just don't see it happening, especially now having Malik Monk re-signed. There was speculation that he knew when he made that post on Instagram. So before the whole trade rumors of Caruso and Zach LaVine, and
Right.
I'm honestly okay actually sticking with pick 13, knowing that we have Malik. I don't think picking at 13 is a bad idea. You were kind of going over how salary works, how important it is to have team-friendly deals, and that's a benefit when it comes to getting rookies in the draft. You get their first contract, you have their rights to their contracts, and they're going to be an affordable piece that could potentially add value, not necessarily this coming season, but in those future seasons, when it is time to really bond and gel with the core and make a push for a championship. I'm sure the Kings are trying to win a championship next season. Not sure if that's going to happen. But in the next 2 to 3 years, if we have a rookie from 2024 NBA draft, that's a really viable option, I guess you can say, because just if you look at like the Thunder, the Timberwolves, like there's a lot of depth there, and that's where those rookies add a lot of value. It's not just about drafting a Victor Wembanyama. It's about finding a Naz Reid, finding these role players that, or even stars. I mean, eventually, but on an affordable deal. Yeah, I don't like the Levine talks. So
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. Here's the other thing. The Kings, look, they could move back from 13 because this is, I said it at the top of the show, this is a funky draft where it goes against, unless you're in the top 1, 2, 3 picks, it goes against the norm where you draft the best player available. After that, it's going to look a little bit more like the NFL where you're going to see teams maybe pick or maybe pass up somebody that's ranked higher on a lot of boards because they've already got a center locked in. They don't need another one. And if a guy that you don't love is there at 13 and you think there's somebody that you like just as much and you could move back, the Kings very well could do that. I know Tristan Da Silva from Colorado. There's been a lot of interest in him as well. You could move back and probably still get him. And who knows, maybe you can bring somebody in exchange for that for some depth on the front line because the Kings desperately need it.
That's very true. But and I agree. I especially, well, the thing with the NFL and the NBA and their drafts is it's a deeper draft in the NFL. I used to like watching the NBA draft more than I did the NFL, but I honestly kind of like watching the NFL draft better, just because you see a lot more of that trading back, trading up, trading down, because it's such a deep draft. You don't know who's going to go, where it's going to go. There's 160 players, or no, excuse me, there's like 200, I believe, that get drafted.
Yep.
But with the NBA on this at the same time, yes, we can move back, but you have to have a team in this draft that's willing to pay the price to move up.
Correct.
And at what price are they willing to move up in a draft class that they feel might not be the most talented?
Well, see, that's the misconception about this draft. It's getting compared a lot to the 2013 draft. The Kings in a draft like this are exactly where you want to be. You want to be right around that 13th pick at the top. That is where it's like, oh, it sucks we're the first, second, or third pick. Why didn't we get that the year before when Wemby was here? Because there's not that clear-cut 1, clear-cut 2. I mean, up until a couple weeks ago, Alex Sarr seemed to be the consensus, and that's starting to change. It's now looking like Ricochet. So it's like, okay.
And here's the thing. Alex Sarr is a player from France to average 9 points.
It's a good point. Yep.
Now, I'm not saying he's not going to be something one day, but that's the level of draft we're looking at. You're looking at this player's not going to come in and become the next Kevin Durant on one day.
They need
he's going to
be
he's versus a Victor Wembanyama had a phenomenal rookie year, like you said. So,
exactly.
And that's the thing. It's like, will Alex Sarr even go that high? I mean, like I see his stats. There's potential, of course. Everybody has potential in the draft, though. You're 9 points at 7 feet tall. That's not very impressive to me.
Yep. Nope. Totally. I mean, he can play anywhere on the court, but still, you worry about the size and all that. And I mean, Wembanyama, he's still got some stuff to prove, but like you said, he had a great rookie year. Hey, brother, I'm gonna let you go because we're gonna be wrapping up in just a couple minutes. Sure. And thank you for coming on, man. Yeah, aren't we happy that Monk stayed on? Huh? It's a good weekend to be a Kings fan.
Yep.
And so, all right, brother, be well, Jay.
All right, you too.
Yep. That is Jay. All right, we are going to wrap up the show with the reason that everybody's here, by the way. If you didn't know, this dude's from Portland. That's right, Dave. We've been talking about it all show. You know what? I'm not even going to give him an intro. Haunted freaking horse. What's up, dude?
What is up? Happy birthday.
Thank
you.
Happy
birthday. Is my mic working? I never know anymore.
You sound good. Did you know that
come after me?
Corn Dog's birthday.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm 40.
Oh, you are 40.
I'm not a kid.
I'm not a kid.
I talked all over your sound drop.
But
you do it to me.
I do.
When Corn Dog was on, I've been listening since then. I got my workout in. I was cooking my after workout lunch because I was starving. And so I was listening. Happy birthday, Corn Dog, as well.
Yep.
He's a good dude. He's getting me to buy get a Costco card because he was talking about it. Flores was talking about Dutch Brothers. Thank you for liking Dutch Brothers. I own 50 shares of stock. You know it's public because of me. And it's been doing well. It's been doing well. Look at that birthday cake, man. I saw the birthday wishes in the chat. That's 40's a big one, dude. We
it's weird. Yes, we've talked about it at length. It's weird. I don't know. Like because like I don't feel any different, but I remember when I was a kid, like going to my dad's friends' birthday parties, like if it was their 40th, and you're thinking, oh man, they're starting to get old now. Like their youth is over. But
yeah, when you're a kid and you see a 40-year-old adult, you're like, wow, they're old.
Right.
They're close to retirement. They can be grandparents.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, my mom's 40th. I remember it well. We had blew up like black balloons and put black streamers and have 40, 1 foot in the grave, all the jokes and everything. But you know what? I'm 55 and you're a kid to me, and I feel like a kid at 55. So my perceptions of what 40 and 50 and 55 would be as a kid are totally blown because I thought you have to be old and you have to act mature. And no, I'm a bigger goof off now than I've ever been. So you don't have to act your age. Remember when they said act your age when you're a kid? Well, you probably were, first of all, when they said act your age.
Yeah.
I'm acting like a 15-year-old.
Exactly.
But it's just a number, dude. I feel great at 55. So
you look good, dude.
Yeah,
you got this special workout program going.
I did my push-ups when I got home. Yep. I did my I forget what I'm up to now, like 250. I don't do them all in one shot, but sets of yeah. I mean, it makes you feel good. I hate doing them. I dread them. I look forward to that omelet though. I make that chili relleno omelet, and I don't know if you saw me in the waiting room whooping it down while Jay was talking.
I did not.
Like, trying to get it down because I knew
funny.
you wanted. I knew you didn't want to stay long today. You got a big weekend ahead of you.
Yeah, we're gonna be hitting the road here in a little bit. The little one just got off school, and
cool.
Apparently, there's more people coming this weekend than we thought. So,
it was going to be the three of you, and now that has changed.
My mom and dad are now there or on their way there.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, but now my aunt's coming tomorrow. So,
wow,
should be.
Hey, it's going to be in the mid to low 80s. I mean, it's going to
be warm. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's going to be amazing.
I know.
Getting that freaking lake, dude.
It's going to be good.
You didn't mention I'm coming down. Yeah, July. It's okay to say I'm coming down July. I'm not specifically saying for obvious reasons. So everyone knows that my house is being watched by my, in-laws or whatever. But yeah, coming down in July, Sactown. Check out that Jim Boy's Tacos. So July is okay to say. And my handwriting is smeared. The way I would describe the coffee kiosks up here for this show.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to give you full screen for this.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. What he was talking about earlier is I'm shocked that he didn't know about this because I would think it would be a popular idea everywhere. But the coffee kiosks up here, the traditional coffee kiosk like a Starbucks, Dutch Brothers, of course, you got the apron and everything. You would probably go buy your clothes at Target or, I don't know where people buy clothes, Kohl's, Ross, wherever, Macy's, the kind of clothing that they buy at these up here, and they're quite popular. You would go to Victoria's Secrets to buy your outfit for the coffee places that I'm talking about. And they are customers of mine. So I have to go in. I hate using the word service. I have to service the account. And it is quite awkward. Yes, but they are very popular up here. They make lots of money up here. And we had a story about a bikini barista that the guy threw the drink. It was a cold iced coffee, so it wasn't scalding hot. Threw it at her, and she took a hammer and smashed his windshield, as she should have. That happened in Seattle. So that's how I would describe it. Yeah, they get their outfits at Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, and Horace has stock in those places too.
No, I do not. They're not publicly traded. Although if they were, I would have stock in it because it's definitely a place where I would imagine they get a lot of traffic.
I would have thought that I would have thought that idea would have gone out of style, like with dial-up internet.
With what?
With dial-up internet.
Oh, dial-up internet. Yeah.
The ding, bong, bong, bong. Ding.
I mean, there's one thing to see an image, and there's another thing to actually talk with a person.
And if you're one of the people working at that establishment, like you're just like, what are you? You're like a steak in the meat counter,
Yeah, you are.
Are you really going there for the cup of coffee? That's the question. Is the coffee that good? You could probably have the crappiest coffee in America and you would still have a thriving
Absolutely,
business.
Dude. I mean, they probably drive down the road and pour it out the window. They don't want the coffee.
No, yeah,
they
exactly.
want the eye candy.
Exactly.
When you told Alex that what you're doing is not a job, and what you weren't correcting him, you were explaining that this is not work. This is something fun. And when you're doing something fun as your income, that's right, it's not a job, and I have a 40-hour week job still, and I'm doing what you're doing on the side, and eventually I'm going to pivot so I can shed the job and do the fun instead. So yeah, if you find a job or if you find an income that you love to do, then you'll never work a day in your life. That's the saying, something like that.
Yeah.
And then lastly, was that your dog or was that Jay's dog?
That was Jay's dog.
Okay,
Yes.
I was wondering because it didn't sound like Gordo.
Yes,
it didn't have the woof, woof. But I'm like, is Ryan's dog out of control again? Okay, so Jay's dog.
No, I told the wife.
Wife.
I told the wife for my birthday I wanted the dog out of the house. He had to go. So no,
That's your birthday present.
Yeah, no, he's with he's with my brother-in-laws since we're heading up the hill.
Yeah.
If he went to the cabin, we would never see that dog again. He
when we go away for a 3-day weekend, our cats get to stay here because they're cats and they're not needy like dogs. Sorry.
Well, not
I had
all.
to go cat dog, bee dog.
Well, you got it easy, man. You got a litter box that cleans itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we, the in-laws still have to come over and make sure they have water and make sure that the food's there. But cats are, they maintain themselves. Anything in the chat that I wasn't looking. So anyway, good job on the Monk signing. I saw that. Jeremy Grant, by the way, the one thing is you do need older leadership, like Portland Trailblazers. You need an older leadership role. Otherwise, if you have all young kids, they have no one to learn from. And there's more to learn than just dribbling the ball and shooting the basket. There's like how to handle yourself, how to behave on the, because if you're 18, 19, 20, you can get into a lot of trouble without some older influences in your life.
It's a great point. And Harrison Barnes has been one of those guys for the Kings that consummate professional, first one in, last guy out, plays all 82. Another one this last season, JaVale McGee, really good guy to have around. Vince Carter was on the end of the bench for the Kings. Cool story about Vince. He approached Grant. He shared that here on the show before and said, Napes, this is something I think I want to do after my career ends. And, those guys they wear a lot of different hats. We've heard about Rondo helping out with the coaching staffs on different teams. So even the Kings, Grant told that story the other night. And the thing is, a full rebuild does not mean you trade away every asset. You got to keep a couple of people because you still want seats to be in, or you still want butts in the seats, number one. Number two, you still want to be somewhat competitive because there are minimums that teams have to spend on payroll. You can't just go as low as you want because of profit sharing and things like that. So yeah, Jeremy Grant sticks around. It's him over really Dame, but you kind of replaced Dame with Scoot, and you guys got 2 picks now in the top 14. You're getting
Scoot
younger.
would be the person that you would want an older, like a big brother, to say, hey, this is how we handle ourselves on the road. And, because he came in with a lot of expectations. And when you're not living up to the expectations, just be patient. The crowd, they'll get on you. Be patient. It'll come. Just don't try to rush it. Because he had high expectations coming in. Number 3.
Number 3, coming from the G League Ignite. Here's the thing. It's effort based. We've gone through so many lean years in Sacramento, like the Richmond days, the Coswells, the L Train, the Animal Michael Smith. I could just keep naming them off. Tizzy. Anyways, through those years, those teams didn't make it to the playoffs hardly any years, but they played their asses off. They hustled, like, the Billy Owens days. And that's what you still need in Portland. Now, granted, the last time you guys were in Sacramento, that was a shit show. It was the last game of the season. Chauncey Billups basically told the guys, don't take anything but threes. If your team had, like, I think 10 or
we were on the edge of a draft pick. I think if we won that game, which I don't think we would have anyway, but we were on the edge, and then we ended up tying and we lost the coin flip with whoever the other team, and we slipped a spot. But yeah, we didn't want to win. There was a cluster of teams that were within a game of each other for those draft pick slots. So, and then of course we fell down. We got jammed in the lottery. The balls just didn't go our way, but But yeah, we've had it. Look, Sacramento, we've had it better than you guys. We've been in the playoffs. We had Dame. We got to the Western Conference Finals. So we have not had the drought that you guys have had. So I was willing to trade Dame. I've said this when Grant asked, I was willing to do that because the time frame for him and us. Sorry, I tapped my mic. Sorry, to get in different trajectories, and it was time to rebuild. There was and you guys know, just like Portland knows, no free agent wants to go to the small town. I mean, maybe last big free agent we got was, I think, Scottie Pippen. They just don't want to come to these towns. They want the city. They want the nightlife. They want the fun and the sponsors and the eyeballs and the glitz. So you got to get them with trades or draft.
Yep.
Dame was willing to stay here, which was an anomaly until he knew he wasn't going to win here.
Dame was on the record saying he was, I'm not going to use the word miserable, but living in Milwaukee was not doing it for him.
Yes.
And he was coming from Portland. So
yes. He says he wants to end his career and move back to Portland. He loves it here. And it's great. If you like the outdoors, you like mild summers, and you don't have a foot of snow in the winter, it's a great place to be. And then I grew up in Sacramento, which is another great place to be. I heard Grant was talking about Monk likes golfing. Well, there you go, dude.
Oh yeah.
Malik,
so, that dude, yeah.
You guys got
him in
nice
his golf
courses.
game. Yeah. I said that the Sacramento, like the people that own the courses around here, should have came together and during the recruiting process. Malik, I don't care if you're a multi-generational millionaire, play golf for free anytime you want.
We'll slide you in. We'll make this foursome wait, and you can just go anytime you want.
100%. You are an honorary member of the country club.
Yes.
We'll give you your own locker, whatever it may be. But yes, it was very cool. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give you the screen for a second. You, my friend, have a show coming up tonight. Tell everybody about it.
Well, have a nice trip to Tahoe. You got to take a picture, if not just for me, but I want a picture of that entree from Hell's Kitchen and the wife's. I want pictures. I want to see what that food looks like. One more thing. I saw Mark Graves, $25 coffee. Laugh out loud. Yeah, $25 for the lingerie coffee. Yeah, you're not paying for the coffee. I have a show 5:00. It's being built as we speak, and it's on today at 5 p.m. It's the weekend kickoff haunted horse show. Of course, I do a show with our guy Ryan 3 days a week, but this is the solo show, and I've come up with some tricky gimmicks and fun things to throw on the screen, and I have an open bar. How's there? Figure out what that's going to be. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Open bar.
And I do not drink, so I have non-alcoholic soda pop for the non-drinkers.
Okay.
Yeah. So come on in and ask for a drink and see what that gets you.
Interesting.
Yeah. My new toys that I've got. These new little toys for the shows where I push the buttons and magic things happen. So
wow, Mark, you better go get your curls in there with a haunted horse today.
There you go.
How do you find the show, dude?
Go to Hollywood Reject. You know what? I don't have it. HollywoodRejects.com and click on the YouTube button, which is just text, no picture. It doesn't have your picture on it. It's just YouTube channel. That's the easiest way to find me. Follow me on Twitter, Haunted00 Horse, and it shows up live in my feed, just like your shows do in your feed. So Haunted00 Horse. Have a wonderful trip. I can't wait to hear about Hell's Kitchen. I can't wait to hear if you win on the 3-pig slot machine that I told you got to play.
It's Rich Little Piggies, right?
Rich Little Piggies. Just look for on the big screen above the slot, the reels. You'll have a blue, a red, and a yellow pig. 3 pigs, blue, red, and yellow. That's the one to play.
Okay.
It's fun.
All right. I'm on it. That's the one I'm looking for, dude. Hey, I appreciate you coming in on my birthday, dude.
Absolutely, dude. Wouldn't forget it. So take care. Have a good weekend. And later, Sactown. Talk to you later. See you in July, Sactown. All right. Bye.
See you in July. Have a great show. Love you, brother. That's my man, Haunted Horse. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming in today. It is time for me to bid you adieu. We are headed out for a long weekend. up in Tahoe, thank you for all the birthday wishes. Corn Dog, thank you. Happy birthday to Corn Dog as well. Kings fans, what a better way to kick off your weekend than finding out Malik Monk is coming back. Now, if we don't have to hear the name Levine the rest of the weekend, we're going to be in great shape, in my opinion. But thank you all. It's been a fun week. We're going to be right back at it again tonight at 5 o'clock. If you have not subscribed already, make sure that you subscribe too. If you don't like that, give us a thumbs up. Grant will be back at 5 with his open forum show. And I saw a comment in the chat. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? It was about Spud Webb. Let's see. I'm missing it. Here it is. There it is. Baby Cakes. Baby Cakes. Ask Grant if you pop in at 5 o'clock about some Spud Webb stories. He's got some really, really cool ones about Spud, and Grant loves telling those stories. So make sure you come support Grant at 5 o'clock. Bane, thank you again for the super chat the other night for Grant and I. And R Bizzle, thank you so much. I will be posting pictures this weekend. We will take some pictures like Horse asked for it. Hell's Kitchen. Our Bizzle, thank you again for that. Scallops on Our Bizzle. But make it a great, great weekend. I appreciate your support. Next week, we are going to be hitting it hard. Come Monday, it is going to be full steam ahead with the NBA draft. I have done most of my player profiles, my breakdowns. I have talked to numerous people connected to the league. I have talked to college scouts. I have talked to pro scouts about some of the different names that Sacramento may be looking at with the 13th pick. I've also poked around about what they might be looking about if they move back in the draft or if they don't draft at all, i.e. a Kyle Kuzma trade. Thank you so much, Dave. Very much so. That's the thing that's up in the air. I don't know what kind of cake it's going to be tonight. We will see, but that's not the important stuff. The important thing is spending time with your family. It does not matter if it's your birthday, if it is just another day. Make sure you tell somebody, tell your family you love them. Make it a great rest of the day. I appreciate all of you. And again, Monday, we are hitting it hard. If you need to get ready for the NBA draft, the King's Court, and if you don't like that, is exactly where to be. You will know everything about the names that you are going to be hearing come the draft on Wednesday night. Again, happy birthday, Corn Dog. Thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes. Tadori, let me get a birthday holy moly.
Holy moly, Jimbaboli.
Thank you so much for that. Go Kings. Thank you, Malik Monk. So glad that this scenario has worked out for the team. Now, Malik, enjoy the golf course. Stay away from the trees. Maybe play on your own. Just wrap yourself in a little bit of bubble wrap. Let's get from now until the 6th of July when we put pen to paper. But it is a great weekend, a great way to kick off the weekend. Make it a good one, everybody. Go Kings, light the damn beam. Court is dismissed until Monday. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you.